meditating for a few more minutes. Got a couple more, 3 more I think, short contemplations. The next one is about when we get really happy when bad things happen to other people. You know that time? Right, he's sort of saying that's not good either. if you want to get enlightened.
That's not a good form of happiness.
That's not a really good plan. So, but we obviously addressing it. He's addressing it because it's something we do. Yeah. So pretending we don't is probably not a good thing. Recognizing where we do this and then aiming to work towards it in the short window we have is why we're reading this text. So see if you can relate it to your life when you do this. A practical, real example. As David reads the voice of Master Shantideva. Are you present?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, let's take your mind to Nalanda University, which was like Alexandria of old in the East. Wisdom in 1300 years ago.
And even should your enemy become upset, how then could you feel glad about it? It's not that some kind of harm has come to him or her, all caused by your hopes and wishes. Even should the suffering you wished on them come to pass, what's there to be glad at? And if you say, it satisfies me when I see it, what could better ruin you? The iron hook that's jabbed in us by the fisherman of affliction is merciless, unbearable. Should it catch me, it's a certainty that hell guards keep me captive in their hell realm cauldrons.
So he's saying even if you get happy about other people's unhappiness, it doesn't help you. Like, it's not like someone you dislike got cancer and you got happy about it and all of a sudden your body got healthier. It's not like because their foot fell off, you grew a new foot. It's not like there's any correlation between them being harmed and you being improved. Secondly, he says, who are you? You think you can take credit for, I wish that they'd hurt. Oh, they got hurt, I won. I did it. What are you, all powerful, all creator? Did you really do it? Was it your intention that did it? It's like, it's not as if you made that happen. So what, you got tickets on yourself that you think you just made somebody hurt? And then he says, again, the seen and unseen. It ruins your unhappiness. It ruins your happiness in this life to sit there and go, oh, well, I got some pleasure to see them fall on their face. If that is what you're recording in the playground of your mind, and that becomes the lens through which you see existence, you're only due for more of that in return. So that doesn't serve you in this life. And then he says the hell realms are in the unseen, in the future result of these thoughts. You can expect realms of existence like that of hell. Because it'll just be torture to enjoy another person's torture. It's just torture of your existence to enjoy another person's torture. Also locked in there is the idea of the stuff we touched about karma. Karma is like a locked ecosystem. You don't get an exemption from your mental processes. It's not like I had 20 great thoughts and one really shitty thought, and because I had 20 good thoughts, I'm going to get 20 good things, and someone's going to overlook the one negative thing. You get a credit. Oh, that really shitty thought you had, or that really terrible intention towards someone else you had, you're having a bad day. You're not going to get the result of that one. You're going to get the result of the other. That doesn't happen. It's not like someone's out there marking off, oh, I'll pass judgment on your negativity and your positivity, and I'll give you, because you're mostly good, I'll give you all your good ones and we'll ignore the negative. You're going to get all of it equally. So even a tiny instance of negativity, you must experience a result because it's in you. It's a locked ecosystem of energy, karma. Nothing escapes it. It must always ripen. And so when you see this thing, if you know the four forces, you can erode some of the negativity, and you must work hard to do that if you've studied that. So that's locked in there as well. It's not like you can escape having a bad thought. Every single thing you say, think, or do must have a result. The good and the bad. It's not like all of it except these 2 minutes that you somehow choose or hope nobody gets to see. So even the bad deeds you do in the privacy of your own room are still witnessed by your mind, are still experienced by your consciousness, and therefore leaves that imprint through which you see reality through that imprint. You must see the world that way, the way you imprinted it. And if it's disgusting, it's going to look disgusting and feel disgusting as it grows. And if it's beautiful, it'll be beautiful and magical as it grows. Nothing's lost. Yeah, I know you're asking questions, but I need to move on. Yeah, one more.
Me?
2 more. Yeah, because you're going. Oh,
Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah.
It was
Quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, quick, please.
So the karma to see someone suffering, is it to have created same cause than them?
Say that again. The karma to see someone suffering.
Is it because you created the same cause that they created to suffer themselves? So you're overjudging yourself through someone else.
The cause to see somebody else suffering. It depends where you sit on that experience, right? So you must, if you're suffering to watch someone else suffering, then it was created by a negative suffering. Yeah? If you're rejoicing as you're watching somebody else suffering, you're using up part of your joy, part of your goodness, and then coloring it with a wish or intent that a terrible things come to them. And you're now mixing those two and keeping more of the black and white karma. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was talking the cause just to see someone suffering. Is it because they suffer because they created the cause to suffer? So maybe I have the same seeds than them.
Oh, I see. The way you see them suffering is particular to your view, your vision, and therefore it's they are ultimately your seeds, and that's how. If the way you experience everybody's action on this world, being cut or being jolly or whatever, is expressed by your mind onto this non-self-existent reality, then it must only come from that same flavor in your consciousness. And that's the only way you can ultimately, truly remove all beings from suffering. Because there is no self-existent being out there suffering without the way you perceive them as suffering. Yeah? Okay. How those we dislike help us in our practice. These last two parts are, see if you find fault in them, which I did. See if you find fault in them, and then try and tell me what's wrong with Master Shantadeva's logic here. Yeah? David?
17 and 18 or 17?
Just do 17.
Okay. The world may be full of beggars, but finding someone to do me harm is truly a rare occurrence, since there could never be a person who hurt me any way at all if I did not them first. Suppose that without an ounce of effort you came across a treasure chest hidden in your house. You should thus feel grateful for your enemies, who aid you in your Bodhisattva practice. Since he and I both bring it about, it's fitting that from the outset itself I devote to him the final result that comes from being patient. He has, in the way described, provided something for me to be patient about.
What's the problem with the beginning of that?
It's assuming there's no reincarnation?
Nope. It's really obvious to me. Now read again. The world may be full of beggars, right? And there's lots of people desperate for help me, help me, help me. But finding someone to do me harm is truly a rare occurrence? Bullshit. Not in my life. Sorry, I just said pushing. I find plenty of people that piss me off. It's not like a rare occurrence. It's like that one and that one and that, and that one and that, you know? It's like, what does he mean? And this is where the commentary is stunning, right? This is where the verbal transmission is stunning. What he's saying is, because he sort of alludes to it in the next thing, is as you put into practice the knowledge you get from the patience chapter, as you realize that not reacting with anger in your world will remove from your world the reality of experiencing annoying people, they then become like this precious rare find whereby only through them can you terminate your negativity finally. Does that make sense? The more you act on the advice of not getting angry, even if they're yelling at you, if they're abusing you with words, if they're destroying your temples, if they're and you are remaining without anger, the result of that must necessarily be that you're exhausting all your karma for all the crappiness you're experiencing, and you're not reacting to create more. At best you're reacting, at least you're reacting neutral, at best you're reacting with wisdom, which will generate less and less negativity and more positivity. And then, like finding a chest in your home full of jewels, you find this one person that pisses you off. And they are your truly they are your ticket to enlightenment. Because it's only with them. They provide the angry, boring, aggressive, negative person, and you provide the I'm going to be a bodhisattva with patience. I will give you the test and I will pass the test, and together you're creating your enlightenment. They are implicit in your enlightenment. You need them. This rare, precious enemy of yours, the one you imagined in your meditation. You can't get enlightened without them. In fact, you can't get enlightened without other beings, without other people. You need them because without them you could not work on that anger. And especially as you progress along your path, they should get rarer and rarer and rarer. And then when they pop up, you have this understanding and you stick with them. You're like, oh my God, I found you. You're going to make the Hector Buddha. So, let's be friends. You know, I give you all the credit to my Buddhahood. Let me get enlightened. Help me, please. Give me the test, I'll pass. Let me find that joy, which we'll do next chapter. Right, let's see. So you're partners in this crime. You're partners in creating. Thank you for coming. Please stay next to me. Make me more upset. And see if I can work through this.
I know it's a bit strange, but I want to know, because I'm Israeli and I sometimes stay in an environment which people are very identified with kind of the enemies, and they are very happy with the enemy.
Sufferers, yeah.
Sufferers and stuff like that. And many times I don't join it, but I don't resist it. I don't, don't go against it, because simply it's like fighting windmills in a way. I wonder if there is any karma by kind of not resisting when these kind of conditions comes. Because, I mean, yeah.
All I can answer to that, right, because we all find ourselves, that's a really good question. We all find ourselves in seemingly impossible situations, right? So I'm not going to stand in, I'm going to use a more benign example, in a football stadium full of Argentinian supporters, and I'm not going to go to the other side and be the only Argentinian sitting there, go for Argentina, win the goal, right? Because it's the wrong environment for me to continue my success or the thing I would like to succeed in, right? So I'll behave in accordance to the culture, in accordance to the group that I'm in, to the best of my ability. And I think this is where the secret, the private practice really comes from. Because outwardly, you might be engaging the people around you in the way that's acceptable for that culture, but inwardly, you're really coloring every word and every intention and every seed with the capacity for that to transform for them, to not harm themselves or others and the rest, to the best ability you're able to in that place. And you obviously can't sit there and going, hey everybody, let's be friends with the Palestinians because we'll all live happily ever after, because you won't survive in that environment and this current day and age and state if you were in a certain place in Israel, for example, or vice versa if you were Palestinian. So this is, I think, where your internal training has to come in, and you have to resist evil. If people are hurting each other, you have to act, you have to do something if you can do something about it. But if you can't, or you're close to not being able to do something, you do something internal, because that will generate the capacity and the possibility that then a window opens up externally for you to do something. If everything is truly caused by what's happening in your mind, if your mind is projecting reality, then the internal causes will create the external causes. And then it just gets bigger, and the external causes create obvious external causes, and then everything eventually shifts. That's a quick investment I give to that seemingly impossible thing. Lastly, let's talk about what do we do with this mountain of living beings, some of which have become our allies in our Buddhahood journey. Let's talk about all of them now, since we're ending the patience chapter. And it's like, you got no excuse to get angry, and here are all these beings that you sometimes get angry at and sometimes don't. How should you treat all of them? So the last contemplation is contemplation 18. Sorry, second last contemplation. I lied.
This is why the Able One described the field of living beings and the field of the victorious. Many who succeeded in pleasing them were able in this way to reach the perfection of the ultimate. The qualities of an enlightened one are attained by means of living beings and the victorious Buddhas alike. Why then do you act this way, refusing to honor other beings in the way you do the victors?
Basically, he's saying you can't get enlightened without other people. And in the short time you have here, how you engage with other people will determine how you engage with other people, will determine how your world turns out. So basically treat everybody as if they were the Dalai Lama. Treat everybody in whatever they're saying to you as if behind those eyes, behind that gesture, behind the aggression and the kindness or whatever, is the Dalai Lama trying to wake you up, knocking at your door. You still act in the nominal way, so you don't get hurt, so you don't blow people up, etc. But internally, you see a holy being, you treat them that way. And the last reading, number 19, he says, moreover,
what better method could there be to repay the kindness of those who act unimpelled as closest friends and help to an infinite degree than to please all living beings?
So in essence he's saying, like all Buddhas, like all those who act unimpelled, all those enlightened beings, you must treat everybody with this kindness. Moreover, you would treat them, an enlightened being would treat them like perfect, kind, enlightened beings, because that's the only way to keep generating the experience of bliss. So if they're doing it, well, are you better than them? Should you? You're gonna have a different result if you don't do what they're doing, in essence. So bottom line for the patience chapter, you will still get angry, yeah, but now you have all these tools and all these reasonings in your head, and I encourage you to read them, because if you stop that, the world opens up. All that mental space of getting angry and irritated can be taken over by mental space to understand your reality deeper, wiser, and act with the other things that are coming. Joy, concentration, generosity, and the rest. And you really do have the power within our bandwidth to transform your existence. Truly, not some idea out there, not someone keeping record on you. Every single thing you do will have a result. And it's your own doing. And in that sense, you really have your life in the palm of your hands. You just don't know how long this one lasts. That's all. Thank you. Let's close it off by making an offering and dedicating this to any person that needs any wisdom, that needs not to be angry, that needs some peace in their mind. Give it away to them. That's the only way you're going to lock the teaching. Pukia Jishin Metokram Riram Lingshin Yundegam Padi Samge Shindu Miteguargi Dropun Nanda Shinla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kandiniyatayami Digoku Sinam Yeshe Soksokshim Sinam Yeshe Junwe Udamba Kuni Tobasho. I hope these words change your existence and the existence of everybody you experience in your world.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hector. Please keep teaching.